I don't know where my speaker is, so if you can barely hear the music, that's why. But anyway, cheers everybody. How you doing? Oh God, I even got a little Guinness today. My fancy Guinness glass. So anyway, there's I've done one of these in a while, so I guess I figured I'd chime in on the whole Game of Thrones ending. So what the hell? Let's dig into it. I kind of want to review a little bit of the season itself. The first couple episodes were supple. I really like to concentrate on the Battle of Winterfell, King's Landing, and the finale. So, I wasn't as disappointed as a lot of people are. I wasn't disappointed enough to sign a petition to make them write the show again. Come on now. I get being upset about endings, but there's a way to be, And these guys they worked hard on it. So it showed in spots and other spots. It seemed like they just didn't know what to do, so they did the best they could. And it seemed like they kind of wrote themselves in a little bit of a corner. And then once they were there, they're like, oh, now we only have so many options now, But whatever. All right, so Battle of Winterfell. Well, first I saw the Battle of Winterfell, I did not like the episode. I thought that it was way too hard to see. But when I saw it again, I kind of was taking into consideration what exactly the White Walkers are. And every single time they faced them in the north, a blizzard pretty much preluded their attack, and then everybody had to fight them in almost darkness. So that's basically, they kind of put together the best episode they could, which was an attack on Winterfell, what it would look like in a blizzard, So, upon further review, I appreciate the effort. It was definitely difficult to see. Why it seemed like the only person that you could actually see in that whole entire fight was when Arya was kicking ass. It was just like, can't see anything. Here's Arya, boom, 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 and you notice like she had like a superhero theme, It was I love paying attention to the little tiny scores that each individual characters get, and she had a nice little Remo Williams. Nobody knows who Remo Williams is. I don't even know why I'm bringing him up. Back in the 80s, shortly after Raiders of the Lost Ark came out, they came out with this movie called Remo Williams, and I forget there was some kind of also name for it, like in the something of the something or something like that. Remo Williams, the best action superstar ever. And it was just terrible. They only made one of them, thank God. But it was terrible. But you know what? Actually, watch Remo Williams just for hanging out and having fun, because there's a lot. There's a lot of humor to unpack in that. Unintentional humor to unpack in that movie. Remo Williams. But anyway, Arya Stark had a Remo Williams type theater. Indiana Jones, right? Let me use that one as a reference. She had a Raiders of the Lost Ark theme song running for her, which was great. Oh, by the way, this isn't one of my usual videos. I usually write them up very, very carefully, think about them all the time, and then jot them on the whiteboard. This time I just kind of wing it. I'm going to talk about 3 eps. Battle of Winterfell. So yeah, I actually didn't mind the ending. I thought it was all right. It does. The thing is that they had to win in order to get to the rest of it. So it kind of had to be a predictable ending. We knew that they were going to win, or it would have been a ballsy move to have the Night King keep on going down. With 3 ice dragons instead of just 1. That would have been the end of King's Landing and everything. And, hey, if you think about it, he could definitely cross the narrow sea with dragons, right? So, while the White Walkers don't typically move across water, that's one way for them to do that. So if he had 3 dragons, he could pile some people on and fuck off. But, yeah, I've definitely speculated and thought about better endings than they did, so that happens. That's why I try not to speculate too much. I try to just let the writers write and me watch instead of me going, they should do this and they should do this and they should do this, because more often than not, my speculations are usually better than whatever they come up with, so you'll wind up being disappointed. So I just try to watch, but for some reason I had to speculate at the end, and I just had to try to figure out what it is that they were doing, you know. So Battle of Winterfell, yeah, I thought it was well done after I watched it a second time and realized what they were going for and the thing that they were trying to capture. I think that I applaud the effort, and I say, very well, I accept. King's Landing. Let's move on to that. King's Landing was, man, that was tough to watch. And I mean that in a good way, kind of, because they did it well, you know, but it was a really uncomfortable thing to watch. Men will boil and toil and trouble, and, like, you know, my stomach turned a little bit, you know, but I think that's what it's supposed to look like when you're genociding an entire city, you know, so that's, you know, did they rush that? I don't think so. I mean, I think that, you know, since she was hanging the masters on the crosses in Marine, that, you know, from that moment there, you could see signs of, you know, the coin flipping the wrong way. So, you know, I honestly don't think that they rushed that. They kind of built that up, and then boom, 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 and now she's the Mad Queen. So, I don't know. But it was tough to watch, especially because they never once, you know, showed it from the perspective of Dany and, you know, her riding on her dragon, going, "Let's get vengeance," you know, and trying to feel her vengeance. No, they took it from the perspective of the people on the ground. Specifically, I think they followed Arya the most, which was just like, you know, it was cool that they followed Arya. It was cool that she was there in that moment, only because she was such a badass at Winterfell, and she didn't seem too phased by the fact that she was fighting an army of dead people. And she was brave in that moment. To see her actually wandering around the city like a little bit helpless and like, I'm not really sure what to do, everything's fallen. And then the horse at the end. I swear, it was funny. The whole thing I kept on thinking about with that horse, and, you know, and it's not the Uber thing that everybody else has come with, like, how did this horse just wind up here? I felt like that horse was stranded there because there was just fire everywhere, and the horse was kind of like, I really don't know what to do, you know? So Arya's sneaking over the horse to try to make friends with the horse, and the horse, I felt like the whole entire time was like, yeah, no, I'm about getting out of here. So if you want to get on and guide me out of here, let's do this. You don't have to pet my face or anything. Let's just get on the horse and let's go now. You know, I'm stuck here because nobody can guide me out of this fire. Here you are. I'm hanging out. I'm waiting for you. You don't have to, like, give me carrots and stuff. Just get on and let's go. Come on, woman, stop. You don't have to bond with me. Let's get the fuck out of this fucking rice. So I don't know why that's what I was thinking, but that's what I was thinking the entire time with the horse. The horse, of course. But anyway, I haven't had that much. I seriously, I started the video, and that's when I started drinking, so you guys are watching me progress into my drunken state live. All right, so, oh, plus when she destroyed the, when she started doing her thing at first, you know, I thought that one thing, all right, God, I know I'm a little bit all over the place because I haven't actually organized my thoughts on this entire mess, but one thing that I thought was a very good, almost kind of like teasing and setup kind of thing was, Dany had a dogfight with dragons in the Battle of Winterfell, and I feel like that kind of prepared her for destroying Euron's ships. And first off, the other dragon wouldn't have gotten killed if it was aware that somebody was trying to kill it, you know. I feel like Dany actually had a good... That was one of the redeeming moments about, at least for the dragons anyway, is that Euron got lucky that first time around, and he realized exactly how lucky he got when Dany came down and destroyed his lot, because they got one shot off. They got one shot off. And that's the way it's supposed to be with the scorpion and, you know, the dragons and everything. I'm talking about this logically, like dragons actually exist. But, you know, I would imagine if dragons exist and you got this scorpion and you're trying to fire at him, I would imagine you've got one chance to hit that dragon Otherwise, you're getting burned. You're getting burned. As all those other guys realized when they were up on the summit, and when they destroyed them all, it was just great. And the whole Cersei thing, I forgot to even dive into Cersei. By the way, moment of silence for Lena Headey because she owned it, and she's owned just about every role that she's done. So she is such an incredible actress that people have come up to her on the street and told them they don't like her very much. They don't like Lena. It's like, calm down. She's Lena. She's not fucking Cersei. You know that, right? You get that, right? It scares me that people out there might not get that, But she killed it. The whole series, she killed it. And at the end, it just seemed like she underestimated her, definitely, for sure. And then she trapped herself in the Red Keep, which is at the far end of the city, and the only way to escape is to go down into little Tyrion's little hole. And if she, but she trapped herself. She trapped herself in the corner of the city that she couldn't get out of. She had too big a head. She should have ran. She should have ran, and I don't think she realized that she should have ran until. It wasn't so much that she underestimated Daenerys. I think that Cersei always believed that she was the baddest bitch. Like she was the baddest bitch. She was the most evil. She was the one that burned people. She was the one that did horrible things to people. So she couldn't fathom anybody being any more horrible than she is, And then when, Dany started burning the city right in front of her eyes, and she really took her time with that. She just kind of was like, Rue, I'm not coming right for you. I want you to watch this. There's nothing you can do. I'm coming for you. There's nothing you can do about it. It's happening. And I'm not coming right away. There's nothing left that can shoot me out of the sky. I'm coming for you. That's nothing you can do. And that's, when she started seeing that first row of fire go up, that's when it sank in. I should have run. I should have run. It was like the first time it dawned on her. But, yeah, and, I got to be honest with you, and that's the first time you actually feel something for that character. That's the first time I felt something for the character, like a little bit of pity, like, maybe I should have ran, maybe. But anyway, so after that horribleness, they just made it uncomfortable and horrible. It was just uncomfortable and horrible, and you're not supposed to feel any kind of heroics or goodness that, you're not supposed to feel that when an entire city is being destroyed. You're supposed to feel horrible, and that's exactly how they made you feel. And after that, the options just kind of went down to nothing, so it was pretty easy to speculate that Dany was going to bite it in the final episode, because you can't let that stand, In a fictional world, you cannot let that stand. In real life, it might stand. Somebody, rulers in Africa can genocide an entire people and then still, get up the next day, go to work, and eat a freaking peanut butter and jelly sandwich. But in fiction, there's a reckoning when you do bad stuff. And so she needed that, she needed you knew that was coming. You knew it was coming. You didn't know how, but, you knew it was coming. Was the finale bad? It was a finale, but, the writers actually kind of stayed consistent in the fact that they always made their big epic episodes the episode before the season finale. Like, it always seemed like that's how it worked. Like before the season finale was the big special effects battle, and then the season finale would be a lot of conversation and blah, 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 And not that it was bad conversation. Never bad conversation when Tyrion Lannister is involved. I'm telling you, the guy talks about a guy smashing beetles for, somewhere in the neighborhood of 5 minutes. Smack. A simpleton smashing beetles. What Tyrion Lannister was talking about in the jail when he was talking to Jaime right before he was about to be drug out. And how do we react to Tyrion Lannister going on a 5-minute monologue about beetles? Pretty much, tell me more. No, tell me more. He could talk about the most mundane thing ever and find a way to make you engaged in that. He's just an incredible actor. Hats off to Peter Dinklage for that. Hats off to him. He absolutely nailed just about everything on the show. It's kind of a shame that he kind of went down by the wayside towards the end, but just his character became less and less. He became less and less Tyrion as the seasons went on, I guess. But I digress. So yeah, the finale. Yeah, all I'm saying is that the writers have actually had a. I'm not justifying, and I'm just saying, typically speaking, the episode before the finale has always been the one that has the most money dumped into it, even though they probably dumped a pretty decent amount of money into this one. So I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'm sad that the characters are going to be gone. I think that's my sadness, and that's all I got to say about that. Was it a Matrix type thing where whatever, And I got another thing to talk about as far as we're going to tie in Endgame just a little bit at the end here. I have no idea what to tell you guys about Endgame. I liked it, but I didn't like it. I liked it, but I didn't like it. I liked it, but I didn't like it. So I'm not going to really go into it that much, other than I think that Infinity War was such a great film that it was hard to follow that up with a better film. So Infinity War still probably the best MCU movie ever. So there's that. And all right. So anyway, back to the whatever. I'm back and forth. I know I'm all over the place. Whatever. You'll deal with it. You guys can deal with it. No. Starks won. The pack survived. And now their watch has ended. I don't know what else to say about it. Yeah, so I have nothing else to say about it. Okay. Boston Bruins are going to wind up sweeping the St. Louis Blues, just so you know. We've played. I base every NHL team off of how well we did against them, and we competed against just about every single team out there in the NHL this year. But the Boston Bruins have owned us. They know how to pass. They know how to control the puck. They know how to play defense. They've got a decent, well, good enough to get it done goaltender. So they're not getting beat. Blues ain't beating them. Sorry, I don't think the West has anything for us. It is what it is. I'm not. I don't know if I'm happy about it or sad about it. I don't really care. I mean, I care, but I don't care. I care, but I don't care. Summer's here. So my suggestion is don't sign a petition for the writers to go out there and write a new show for you. Get out there and see some shit. If New Orleans taught me anything, is there's some shit out there to see. So you should get out the house, see some shit. Get out of the house and go see some shit. Anyway, do something good for yourself. Do something good for somebody else. I love you all. Peace.